The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
Eric's Family Barbecue has arrived and is simply the best barbecue in Arizona. Come satisfy your taste buds with meats that are smoked over mesquite wood and sides that are made with fresh ingredients and tons of love. They have the best, juiciest brisket, pulled pork, rib sausage, turkey, or everyone's favorite, the Pitmaster sampler that includes all the meat and 4 sides, mac and cheese, potato salad, coleslaw, corn, or beans, yum. And for dessert, try some creamy banana pudding, amazing. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meat, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip, you won't be sorry. Dine in or take it to go. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more info.
Still streaming. Holmberg's Morning Sickness. Online at 98kupd.com.
Our friend Flip Orley is here. Look at this guy. Flip is home, the comedy expert, the hypnotist, the genius that is Flip Orley. Former, he used to, all those boxes you got from Amazon, he was the one putting those together for a little while during the pandemic. I believe you worked at that cardboard box factory for a bit.
You know, so I January 2020 was my last gig.
Yeah.
I was in Birmingham, Alabama. And I had like the whole 2020 booked. In fact, 2020 was looking like one of the better years for, you know.
You were going to roll in money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like February 1st, everything canceled. Oh. Not in that day, but that's when everything started canceling. And so I went until from February 1st to September 1st.
Yeah.
With no money.
$0 coming in.
Well, for about 2 months, I finally, because when they started doing unemployment, I fell through a bunch of loopholes, so they said that I didn't qualify.
How so?
I don't know. I
didn't look into that?
No, I did look into it, but I didn't understand it. I know how to get people to bark like a dog. I'm not
Just
I'm not an accountant, man.
You can't hypnotize yourself into being better with numbers. It's just impossible.
Well, I hypnotized myself to not worry as much about money. So, there's that. So
how's that working?
It didn't work at all.
Yeah. I couldn't do that.
I'm not as good as I thought I was. So in June, I think in June, I qualified for unemployment, and then I got it for 6 weeks, and then they turned the spigot off.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And you got, because you're just in some sort of weird little group.
I guess. So in September 1st, I actually took a job. Here's what I discovered.
Okay.
Based on my personality as well as my lifelong job vocation, I don't have the personality that's suited to corporate America.
And why do you say that?
I thought I was doing a lot of really ratcheting things back in editing, but clearly not in that world.
But when you worked in the normal world of Everyday Joe and not on the stages of comedy clubs, you found that this is something you're intolerable as a coworker.
Well, so I'm standing in a room with 2 women who work there, right?
Uh-oh.
And we're visiting.
Right.
And a third woman walked in, and she was wearing some kind of costume jewelry necklace, whatever.
Right.
And so the first gal looked at the necklace woman, and she goes, "Oh, I like your necklace." And then the second gal goes, "That's a pretty necklace."
Right.
And not wanting to seem like a douchebag, I go, "I got to hand it to you. That's a lovely necklace."
Yeah.
And this girl went off. She's like, "You don't have the right to tell me I've got a lovely necklace."
They just hated you, though. She was looking for a reason to bark at you.
I'm like, it's not like I said I wanted to give you a necklace from bodily fluids. I was just...
Let me explain myself.
I want to get you a necklace just like that. Well,
There's better ones.
Yeah, so you don't fit in.
I didn't fit it at all.
You're a misfit amongst us.
Some guy came in, there was a meeting, and someone earlier that day had brought in donuts and trying to be nice. I go, "Hey, would you like a donut?" And I got in trouble for that.
What'd you do?
I said, "Would you like a donut?"
Oh, you said that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was what did you do that you don't know that made it so just innocuous conversation was offensive?
It wasn't fat shaming. It wasn't...
You believe this Orley guy? He just asked me if I wanted a donut. What the hell does that mean?
You look like you like donuts.
Yeah.
You want one?
Are you sure you said nice necklace and not like a great
I
set of cans under that necklace?
Yeah, no, I like the way it's grouped in your cleavage. No, I said,
Your décolletage makes me hard.
I used the word lovely. I said, that's a lovely.
And she didn't like the advert.
No, she didn't like me.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
So you didn't think you made any friends at work during your time from being like just an average guy?
I think I made a couple friends.
You got promoted.
Mostly met. That's the funny thing. I was made the general manager. And
that's why they. Oh,
what
geez, Louise, you just hit a button and sunk the chair. That was weird.
I'm actually stuck. I can't get my feet out.
You're jammed under the desk. He's taller than that. Okay, good. Boost yourself back up there like a grown up, for Christ's sake.
I almost used words that you had to bleep.
Well, that's all right. But can you say what
that lever right there? There you go.
Can you say what job you had, or is it you shouldn't?
No, I'm not.
No, okay, good. All right, I won't ask you that.
No, because because of the people. I want the company to be successful, and there were some very nice people there, and so. But so at one point. At one point, I was asked to drive with another driver, a 26-foot truck, just a box truck. So it wasn't like an 18-wheeler, to another state.
Right.
And so I'm all right, whatever. So I'm driving this truck with this guy, and we ended up rolling the scales at a weigh station, and a big sign was like, you need to come in.
Right.
So I parked the truck, and me and this other guy get out. And walk in, and I'm like finger gunning the women, like I'm
Wait
leather.
a minute, explain that better. Explain that better.
I'm like leather
Andrew
Tuscadero.
Cuomo?
Yeah, like hey ladies, what's going on?
Oh God.
Like Yosemite Sam, like hey, what's going on?
Right.
And they're like, dude, what's up with your truck? And I go, well, what do you mean? They go, where's the DOT numbers? I go, do we need those? And they go,
you're a bad employee.
And they go, well, where's your electronic log? I go, what's that? And so we started talking, and I go, hey, it seems like we've got some fixing to do. I go, do y'all have like a pen and paper? I'm going to take some notes. And so they're firing off stuff for like 30 minutes worth of stuff that we're doing wrong. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. Thank you so much for being helpful. It seems like you've stopped. Like, are we done?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. I go, hey, we'll see you on the way back.
You finger gunned him on the way out.
Finger gunned him on the way out. So we get in the truck, and the guy that I'm with, when we got in the car and we just shut the door, he literally goes,
he starts shaking.
And I go, what was that all about? He goes, we're not in jail. I go, what? He goes, at the very least, they should have impounded the truck. They should have put us in jail, and there should be all kinds of fines.
Really?
I'm like, well, that's not serious. He goes, it's damn serious. What was the finger gunning thing? I go, well, I thought they were just helping. I didn't know.
What were you guys
Here are the notes I took.
Nothing.
Smoking a Bandit?
You have course going across the county lines? What are you doing?
There was an elephant in the back.
Yeah, man.
So am I allowed to use the R word?
Ringling Brothers, or what? R word like R-tarded?
Yes.
Call it R-tarded just in case people
Okay.
get mad at you. I say it all the time, but I think people know that I don't mean it.
So
do,
now we're in the truck and we start taking off, and he's like going through this list of things that should have been really big legal trouble for us. And I go, so like, how do you think we got away with it? And he goes, I think they thought you were retarded. He goes,
He felt bad for you.
Yeah, he goes, I think they felt bad for you, and I think they were taking pity on me for taking the retarded kid on like a truck drive.
Wow. And so then you couldn't wait to get back to the comedy clubs now because it's like
God.
you have no business.
I have no business.
Driving trucks around.
They stopped at the next truck stop and they started arm wrestling.
Yeah,
other
of
truckers.
course.
But I don't turn my hat backwards.
Yeah, no, you got to go forwards with that.
So
Scares the guys. That's the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Flips at the Tempe Improv all weekend long if you want to go see him.
Oh,
Well,
actually,
no,
no,
that's
just
not true.
tonight only. And
Well,
then
it says Saturday. Oh, September 4th.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
That's the
back
fall.
in September. I'm going to be September 2nd.
Second and the 4th and 5th.
Yeah.
Right? 2nd, 4th, and
So
5th.
this is the primer for.
peculiar.
Well, actually, did you have a second? So I was.
Yeah, go for it. I was going to continue to promote your.
Well,
nights,
no.
but-
So I was going to do 5 Thursdays in a row because I was living here actually, and I was working at something like an Amazon, and so they go, "Do you want a week at the Improv or do you want like 5 Thursdays?" And I go, "Well, I'm here. I'll do the 5 Thursdays. That way we can sort of build sort of a word of mouth following." And then we signed, and then like the next week I was fired.
From your regular job.
my
Then you had to
rates.
move away.
So I moved back home to Louisiana. It's like, man, those 5 Thursdays are going to be rough.
Yeah.
Can I ask why you were fired?
Part of it had to do with like telling a woman she had a lovely necklace.
That is real.
That wasn't the only, but it was.
There were
things like
several
that.
women who were against the words you
Yeah.
used towards them.
There was one gal who was upset about.
You harassed a lot of women. is what
I
you're saying.
evidently am a harasser. I didn't know it. You know, I'm the guy who's like 0 for 4 on keeping the house, right?
Yeah, you're 5 times married, four houses out the door.
Yeah, one for 5 on keeping the house.
Yeah.
And so like I thought I was the abused, but clearly.
But
Has
tell
this
them
changed?
the daily job, the requirements that you had when you're going in the last couple of weeks?
Oh my! Well, because evidently I don't work and play well with others.
Right.
So I was told to sit in my office.
That's it.
Yeah. So I got really military.
Oh,
I mean,
that's a good gig.
People would go.
How did you screw that job up?
That's the GM.
Yeah, the general manager is not allowed to talk to the employees. I could do that for the rest of my life.
I was told not to talk to employees. I was told not to talk to customers.
Your job was to show up. And you got fired.
Whenever I wanted to. So, I would talk to this one guy who's like, when you're showing up, I go, I don't know, 9:30, 10, 10:30, whatever. Like, I'm on the leper schedule, whatever. Yeah. And so I would show up, and I would sit in the office, and then I would take, a 2-hour lunch, and then I would go home at, 2.
And they let you go. It just wasn't enough.
Hard to believe, right?
Yeah, it's really tough to figure out. Well, but you're better at what you do on stage.
I love what I do, and I knew I missed it. But, so I've started doing shows again, and I was just last weekend in Arkansas, which I had such a good time.
Yeah.
I knew I missed it. I knew I loved it, but to the degree that I loved it and missed it, I didn't know until I got back on stage.
And you get people up there. And what people don't know, if they don't know Flip, is that he does not only just the stand-up during his hypnosis, and people from the audience get on stage. I've done it twice. And the key to the deal is, for all you skeptics, it's just you got to let go.
That's it.
The key to the whole thing is your inhibitions go away. When you're on stage, and I'm like one that's like, I'm not under a spell.
Dude.
I'm not under a sort of thing. You can stop if you don't feel it. Like some people just go, it didn't work.
Right.
And that's fine because their brains don't open up to the idea. But if you're open up to it, it is very strange how the power of suggestion in the playroom goes off, and the people are
Every
hilarious.
show is different.
Every show is different.
It is amazing.
Which makes you more amazing because you don't even know what your act's going to be tonight.
Idea what's gonna happen.
Nothing. So, and it's a blast, especially in like a college town like Tempe.
But getting back to the Tempe thing, I mean, I have to say they could not have been nicer.
The improv people?
Yeah. So I went back to Louisiana, and I got a call from Tempe, and they go, "Hey, we hear you're not in Arizona anymore." I go, "No." They go, "How are you going to do the 5 Thursdays?" I go, well, "I've committed to it, and I'm going to do it." They go, Let's go ahead and keep the first Thursday as sort of a primer and get the word out, and then we'll have you come back and just do a week." And so it was really their idea to reschedule.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I mean,
We'll be back in a few weeks again to do a full weekend, but tonight only.
Tonight only.
At the Tempe Improv if you want to go down there. And it is so worth your time. I mean, Flip, it's always funny. It's always great.
Oh, thanks.
But and I imagine that since your COVID experience, it's going to be even more it's like even crazier now because you're so like you kind of realized what you'd lost.
When I was going to say you have no idea, but it literally is like starting over.
Yeah.
And I mean that in a good way, like emotionally. I don't want to fly anymore these days because
People.
Yes.
You're not good with them.
I'm not good with I'm good with people in one very specific arena and nowhere else. So like even for this, stupid. So I drove 1,400 miles.
You drove here?
Yeah, for one show for
tonight. That's
and then
a terrible financial decision.
And then I'm going to drive home tomorrow.
What are you doing? That is stupid. Are you driving a truck full of nuclear goods still?
Yeah,
That's my
yes,
26
Toledo. What
bucks.
should I do on this?
This is the dumbest idea I've ever. Like you've done a lot of dumb things and come in and said I did another dumb thing. That's the dumbest.
So
You had no money. You had to work in a box cutting factory.
Yeah.
Driving nuclear waste around the city
That's
and skipping it. And then your first decision back. Well, I'm going to head back. 1,400-mile trip for one night.
2,800 miles round trip for one show.
This is $0.
No shows in between, like in
You pick something up
New
in
Mexico
Amarillo along the
or
way.
Yeah. I drove here. I'm doing a show. I'm driving home. Wow. I'm committed.
But that you should be. You should be. Yeah.
So I'm driving through New Mexico. You know what's really sad when you have to explain to people why you think something's funny? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
I understand that.
So like the subject isn't funny, but the
This
radio
is going to be awful.
But the radio thing was. So I'm driving through New Mexico and the radio's on. They're like, "Hey, it's August. It's still hot outside, and so we want to remind you guys to remember, don't leave kids in the back seat of the car, right? Which is that's a very serious subject and
Great
it's horrible,
advice.
right?" And they go, one of the great ways one of the great things you can do to keep from forgetting your kids is if you put something important in the back seat.
That was the way to say
Like your cell phone or your briefcase.
Sounds like one of us were right in that spot.
Yeah, Brett and I put that together for sure. It's something that you want should be back there with it.
Yeah, I'm like,
Like a piece of bread
That's
or
hilarious.
Yeah, Brady always
Rubber band.
Brady always has some famous Daves next to Kirby in the back seat, just in case that she can't. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's a terrible ad. That's the worst PSA.
it's one of
ever.
the worst things I've ever heard. But like I said, that sustained me for almost 100 miles. I kept laughing.
No, Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I've actually seen those things where they say, well, you always should put something back there with your kid that will make it so you remember it. I'm like, wow, if the kid's not enough. The cell phone is more important than your child. I don't think you have one kid, right?
Oh, and he's 16. Oh, he and I are going into business together. Kind of a hobby of business.
Terrible decision too.
We're breeding ball pythons.
All right.
Yeah.
Anytime you go into business with a 16-year-old, what are you doing that for?
I'm financing the gig.
There's a python problem in Florida.
Not ball pythons. It depends on the kind of python. Hey, kids, if you're interested in a ball python, they'll be right in about 2 years.
How much is a ball python?
You know, it's really interesting you asked.
Yeah,
they can range between like $50 to $75 for a very, very common one to like $20,000.
What makes the difference?
Coloring.
The coloring.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So one's just boring.
Yeah, just
You won't believe the colors that they come up with now.
So you kind of luck out.
It looks like
They dye them?
fake snakes.
No kidding.
Literally,
They just come up with
translucent.
different.
They're it's wild.
They're see-through?
Yeah, some of them. It looks like it.
Oh, I see.
The way it reflects the light.
In this business, this was clearly your son's idea.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess 16-year-olds think this is good.
So I went to I was at the box store, right, for a while, and then I got fired, and I went back home, and my kid's like, Dad, you know what I like to do? And I'm like, what? He goes, I really want to breed snakes, and I'm like, you know what? I'm in. I need a fallback plan. I need a plan B. Let's do this.
And it takes about a year for them to get going, and then another year to sell it.
Well, what happens is they need to be the females need to be about 1,500 grams. I sound like a drug dealer.
Yeah, you do.
And the
I
males.
looked into the business plan.
And so they're about 2.5 years old, 3 years old, and then so we have two of them that are 2 years old, one that's 3 years old.
How much were they?
They ranged.
You just burped.
Me?
You just burped. You're very comfortable.
But I
It was an old man burp.
I loved it here. I'm drinking coffee. That's what happened.
All right.
So they ranged in price between $500 to $1,200.
So you get decent ones, not those $20,000.
I got pretty. Yeah, I got good ones, but not crazy.
So you're into this about $5,000 right now.
Maybe a little bit less.
A little less than that.
Yeah.
All right. And years of nurturing the sex between
And they're
snakes.
free range. There's no cage. They're just in the house.
So we got 4 females, and now we're in the market for a male. We have a female that's a fire. We want to get a male that's a fire. When they breed, they'll be super fires.
Is that real?
Yeah.
It sounds like you're like playing that fighting game, Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck with that. I don't think that's going to work out.
So this is how much things have changed. So I come here to work for the box store, right? And then I come home, and so I pick up my son from his mom's house, and I go, we got to go by the UPS store. And he goes, why? I go, some lady, I hate using the word fan, but whatever, some fan,
Right.
sent me a package, and so I got to go pick it up. I go, it's really interesting because she sent me a message. There was a few things in the package, and she was concerned because one of the things she said was a little inappropriate.
What was it?
So my
we're
son,
getting there. Okay.
So my son goes, Dad, if it's a dildo, can I have it?
He just likes cylindrical things. Your son's way into snake dildos.
Kind of. So
Great band name, though.
Oh, Snakes and Dildos?
Yeah, I think
that
that's
would
a
be
guy.
an amazing metal
I
band.
would go see that metal band like every day.
So I go, like, I'm not going to say no, but before I say like yes or no, like, what do you want a dildo for? And he goes, oddly enough, he goes, me and my best friend, like just last week, we're talking about building an RC car out of a dildo. And I go, you can absolutely have it.
No, that is a terrible fatherly advice moment. This is not what TV taught you. You never. When a kid says, "Dad, can I have a dildo?" the answer is no. Every time.
Well, it gets worse. So I pick up the package, and the inappropriate item was silk boxers. So literally, as I'm taking things out of the package, my kid sees silk boxers like, oh.
He's disappointed.
Disappointed he didn't get a dildo.
Santa didn't bring him a dildo.
So he's like, Dad, can I get a Spencer's with my buddy and buy a dildo? I go, yes. I go, would you like me to go with you? He goes, that would be a little weird. So he goes to Spencer's with his buddy, and they're like looking at different dildos, and he goes, we want the big one. So it's Spencer's, not like a sex shop. So the biggest one they had was an 8-inch one.
A big one.
Well, for them, it's an RC.
Oh, for me too.
So as they go up to pay for it, this black woman walks by. She goes, looks like you're getting the big dog.
What is going on in your world? Why does your son tell you that story? Because you're.
I've got pictures of the car.
This is future for
I don't
Flip
wanna
2.
know. He made
if
it?
if
Oh.
the python biz,
Yeah.
we might see a picture like that.
They're like 40 feet long.
Yeah,
these
those
things.
are the same. That's the same breed, but
That's
this is
what you're
different.
Yeah, but the ball pythons get
go
to be 6
big.
to 8 feet.
Okay, well, that's too much. Just stick to the comedy. Just stay in the hypnosis world where you've lost your mind. But the son thing, every time he's here, Brett, I have to like talk him out of something. The best part was when you sat down, we talked to Flip, who's known to have multiple relationships.
Yes.
I guess. And you said, well, at least you got a lady out of your time here. And then Flip goes, no, that's over. You've had a few. You told that one story here about going to Mexico that you later felt bad about.
Oh, yeah. That was
Because she lives here.
Yeah.
And would you like to apologize for that?
No.
Okay, I'm just
No,
checking.
I'm not
I'm
going
just-
to, but it was
It's a
bad
desert
choice.
out
Yeah.
there.
Now let me talk to you about this, Flip, because what is this? The dildo. They built it out of that.
No.
Okay, so they did. It's a rainbow dildo RC car. And what are they driving that into? Little tunnels around the house?
It's so funny because it's got the suction cup on the back end.
That's real.
Yeah, Brett likes it.
Oh, I don't like my life is an S show.
Yeah.
But I don't lie about stuff.
Oh my God. This is why Flip is amazing. It's because you can sit. There
at
it
that
goes,
baby
and
run.
it works. And it works.
They backed it up into the refrigerator and then it got stuck on the suction cup.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty great. He's got some Indian in the kid.
So I said to my kid, I go, here's the deal. The only thing that you cannot, well, probably not the only thing, but one of the things you absolutely cannot do, neither one of you can get on all fours and have the driver
Right.
yell ramming speed.
Right. At least in front of Dad.
There it's stuck.
Are you at all concerned that they chose the rainbow one?
It was the biggest one.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Horses.
based on-
It's called Size Queen. That's what they are.
Well, you know what? They want to get a second one
Yeah.
so they can have races.
Hey, Brady, watch this. Hey, Flip, did you get vaccinated?
Okay, so this is an interesting subject. So I'm not going to say the vaccine's a good idea or a bad idea.
Okay.
Right? Whatever.
Right.
Here's my concern, and anybody who has a problem with this, I don't understand.
Okay.
Okay. So Corona became a big deal, let's say January-ish 2020. And then they started working on the vaccine February, March, April, something like that, 2020. So they developed it and started using it for emergency use less than a year.
Yes.
Okay. My only concern is I don't think there's enough data,
Sure.
especially for long-term effects. Like, is it good? Is it bad? Does it cause problems? Can it cause problems? So, and I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to ask.
Not at all.
So, because really, when you think about it, since it's under emergency use,
Yeah.
it's basically they're using humanity as the phase 3 trial.
I'm fine with that.
I'm not.
No.
Yeah, and again, I'm a live and let live kind of person, so I'm going to wait a little bit to find out what the data says.
Right.
But I'm not saying it's a bad idea.
No,
I'm just saying for me, I want to.
and that's what I think. I think everybody's got a valid argument on both sides. I think you're absolutely right, and that's your choice to make. And then I would say that somebody on the other side that says you're now a petri dish for this thing growing, because the less vaccinated people we have, the more chance it morphs into something else.
It'll
they
never
also
go
have
away.
they also have a valid argument. So there's no real. We just got to stop fighting with each other and let people be. There's that python. By the way, first guest in 20 years that I've ever on the show that has sparked somebody to email me with the subject line in their email saying "kid dildo." Never been a thing before you showed up. Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
are you worried at all though? Because you had a bad case of the COVID.
You know, here's the deal. I've had a good run.
That's how I feel.
You know, so
who cares about long-term effects?
I don't want to die. I don't I don't want to. But you know what? It's going to happen.
Yeah. So who cares?
I just I'm rolling the dice.
What are you doing that needs to keep going?
I'm breeding pythons. Man. Are you listening? Or are you keeping?
Your future is in breeding pythons. Really? Let's get in the box. Just you and I together.
I get a couple
I'm
of
in.
fire
I'll go with you.
fires.
It's
I know
fine
you
with
will.
us. Yeah, we'll do this together.
I sell 10 or 12 fire fires.
What's the excitement there? In a
Couple
few years,
$100K in the-
you got to haggle with some asshole over how much he's going to pay you for a python you've been working on for a couple of years.
Yeah,
You don't need this car. You're going to get in a fight.
Well, but I carry. So
You're going to kill a man over a python haggling.
And I need to carry because these snakes are too. First of all, they're not venomous, so they're constrictors. But secondly, they're not big enough to really do some serious damage.
Right, and you got to protect them now because you're carrying around stuff that's valuable. So you're gonna. My prediction is in the next 18 months, you're gonna shoot someone over a python.
Wow,
squabble.
I am excited to see how that rolls out.
It's going to be at one of your hypnosis shows. You're going to be like, hey, I'm selling CDs, T-shirts, and a few pythons after the show if you guys want to go out. The Improv's going to be like, we're not real big fans of the python sale, but that's Flip's deal.
That's my merch.
That's his merch. It's got Flip on the side.
Kind of like that my body part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Like your wang, which has been your merch up until now. You and your son's standing out there doing that at age 18. He's going to shoot somebody over the python squabble.
So I got the wang, right, tattooed in 2014. Oh. Do you know that not one woman in 7 years has ever asked to see it?
Wait a second.
Not that I would show it, but I'm just saying.
You would show it. If she was a good-looking woman. A pig isn't going to see your wang.
But because another buddy of mine who lives in...
I've asked to see it.
Did you?
Yeah, but we were at a bar, so you didn't do it.
There's a buddy of mine in the West Valley who actually, I think not only is that body part tattooed, but I think he did it to himself, I think.
Oh, geez.
And he said that women ask him all the time, like, can I see it? Yeah. So, what's wrong with me?
Didn't you tell me that the acids from a woman's body make it fade?
God, I'm hoping.
Oh, yeah.
My problem is I haven't seen acid since 2018.
Oh, so it's been a while. You need to go out and get some acid. So wait a second. So I thought you were the one that told me that the best thing about a penis tattoo is the more you use it on a lady, the more the ink
can wear off.
Whatever's
like
going
patina.
on in
the friction.
Yeah, it's patina. Yeah, it's patinas.
Did I tell you that
That's a perfect word for it.
I asked the tattoo guy if he would use glow in the dark ink, and he said no. But the reason why I wanted to is when I was being intimate, I wanted to shine light on it to really charge it up, so that when I was being intimate with my wife, in the dark, it would go Stacia.
Right, it's like flashing. You're advertising.
Billboard.
And now it does it without your wife.
It's
it
a
does
glowworm.
It's a great idea. Have you? So since the tattooed lady left, the one that caused all this trouble, you have not used it?
Well, define used.
Well, you know what I mean. You have plunged and you've spelunked.
Very, 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 very sparingly. Ladies, if you want to help me with some tattoo removal.
Tattoo removal.
Those acids.
Necessary. Because you're not going to ever go to a guy and say, take this off. Because that's supposed to hurt twice as much as the tattoo.
Well, no, I'm not going to do it with laser. I mean, I would do a cover-up.
You would cover up your penis tattoo with what?
I just had a brilliant idea. Because of the signature, the way it looks, I could have them go over it to make it look like a snake.
You both can
fire.
More
advertising.
Until you're in jail for shooting a guy because of boa constrictor, and you don't want to be in jail with a dick tattoo.
I really don't want to be in jail.
I know, but you're going there.
Stick with the glow.
What about this doesn't scream Florida man arrested ... Boa constrictor salesman hypnotist Flip Orley. Come on, everything is a bad headline.
I am moving to Orlando.
This is a terrible idea. I have got to talk you out of something eventually. Please listen to me.
All right.
Known you for too long. Although the story, did you hear Brady Flip got arrested last night? He shot a guy at one of his hypnosis shows over the
Tried to
constrictors.
steer.
Oh my gosh!
Two firefighters.
Turns out some cop heard him about the kid dildo thing, and that was all bad. Oh, Flip, this is crazy. Well, it's always interesting.
I'm at the Tempe.
Yeah, he's at the Tempe Improv all weekend long. If you want to meet a nice fella who's got a future in snake sales,
there you go. Thursday night this week, and then September.
Where do you
2nd.
go to sell snakes?
There are reptile shows.
Okay, you don't want to be hanging out there either.
I know.
That is not a quality grouping. Individuals who own snakes bother me. Groups who own, I'm not interested.
What about a guy who owns a group of snakes?
Well, that's different. That would be you.
That would be me.
I would hang out with you, but the second I go to somebody's house and I see a terrarium or swords on the wall, I get nervous. You're gonna.
I have guitars on the wall.
That's different.
That's okay. Yeah.
I don't play guitar, but I've got them on the wall. My guitars cry every day that they're in my house. They're like, why can't someone who knows who plays?
Are they significant in any reason?
They're decent guitars.
No, but I mean, are they autographed or just nice?
No, they're just guitars I bought at a store.
And you just hung them up.
Yeah, because they're pretty.
You're just the weirdest human being alive.
Is there a name for the biz, or is it just?
Oh God,
I don't know yet.
Kid Dildo.
Oh, Kid Dildo.
I'm Kid Dildo. It's the worst Western hero of all time. Hello, Kid Dildo.
Oh, you know what? He could be Marshall Silver's son.
Marshall Silver's boy. Kid Dildo. Yahoo!
You know Marshall Silver, right?
Why do I know the name?
Pat McMahon. Marshall Silver on the wall.
Oh, Jesus, that's right.
Yeah.
I do know Marshall Silver.
Did you know my kid? Okay. This goes back years. I became very friendly with Pat McMahon, and he gave me a book of Aunt Maud stories.
Of what? Oh, Aunt Maud, his character.
And so I went home and I read them to my kid, and he loved them. This is when he was like 6. And so he goes, Dad, I'm going to write an Aunt Maud type story. And he did. It was really...
It was good.
Oh, it was great.
And did Pat get it?
Yeah, he's like, oh my God, that is absolutely.
This is a great story by my friend Flip Orley's son, Kid Dildo. And he's written an Aunt Maud project, Brady. Very exciting. You know, I'm not a grown man. I have progeria. I'm 9.
Pat should do the commercial with snake sales.
I'm Pat McMahon for Kid Dildo Boa Constrictor Sales.
How do you get to be friends with Pat McMahon? He won't have me over to the house.
What? He
Pat
did or
McMahon,
didn't?
No, Pat McMahon I have a friend who said they have game night at his house. I roasted Pat. I did a roast of Pat McMahon as Pat McMahon.
Was he there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I destroyed him for 40 minutes. It was like I sat
Made
there.
up.
All right,
Yeah,
I
the
did makeup
was
to dress up
solid.
like everything else.
Oh, wow.
And all the other people there were like Jude LaCava, the sports guy from Channel 10, and everybody was pretty tame. And I remember leaning to Tim Hattrick, who was the MC of the thing, and I'm like, Tim, you've heard my thing here. And he goes, you'll be fine. And I'm like, they're going to hate me. Like, I joked about his friends who killed themselves. I had it was terrible. It was a roast. You're supposed to.
It's a roast.
I went full heavy, and I'm just like, I'm just going to go for it. All these other people were making jokes about his hair, and and I did not hold back. And Pat was like, he liked me.
On him and just like a roast.
Oh,
every
I
other
killed
member
everybody.
there.
I killed everybody. And I thought that's what you're supposed to do. So at the end of it, Pat's like, well, that was great. It was wonderful to finally meet you. The first time I met Pat McMahon, he actually said this to me because a friend Dave introduced me. Dave is John. He works over at the time I was at the Zone, and I just started, but I was doing okay. And he said, no introduction necessary. I'm like, oh, that's well, thanks, Mr. McMahon. He goes, good radio finds me. And before the sentence was over, it already started to turn away from me to go somewhere else. And I'm like, well, that douche. And I thought I was kind of mad at him. And then I get to roast him years later, and then I'm supposed to go to his house for game night.
Right.
And somebody at the place goes, oh, that guy's just going to come over and make fun of us. And is that real? Is this the way he always is? And I'm like, the roast wasn't fake. No, he's going to come over and make fun of us. So I was uninvited. Which is good because I don't
And how
really
did he
wanna go
end the roast?
Never
said
first
it
time
before
ever.
in
He
public.
goes, and Holmberg, you.
Did he really?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
And he never said that to
standing
anyone before.
ovation.
Yeah, and the place blew up.
That's amazing.
Because it was terrifying. But I can't believe you're friends with him.
He came to my show. And,
No kidding.
Yeah.
Did he get hypnotized?
No, he was in the audience, and then after the show, he came up to me and goes, I really liked your show. And I was born and raised in Phoenix, so I grew up watching Wallace and Ladmo.
Yeah. Was he Captain Super at the show? Because when he goes through Alzheimer's, I think the outfits are coming back.
I hope they do. I love the outfits.
You run around in Gerald outfit,
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
So, it's weird because, I'm not going to name drop, but I've met a number of people in the entertainment business throughout the years, and some I like and some I don't. And it's like, I love your work or whatever.
Right.
And so Pat McMahon came up to me, and I grew up with him, so I fell to pieces. I was an idiot. I'm like,
No
oh
kidding.
Oh, yeah, I was
There's
like
Pat
a
McMahon.
fangirl. Oh, my God.
Here's a gift card to Copenhagen. Thank you, Flap.
So then
How's your roof? Is this your wife, Stasia? I love what you've done to his dick.
I love evil Pat McMahon more than anything in the world. Anyway.
So he's, I don't know. He's been
I'm glad
really-
you and Pat hit it off.
He's been really nice to me. So at one point we were talking, I was doing his show, and I'd mentioned that I had never got a Ladmo bag, and that was really something that bugged me. So the next time I was in, he gave me a Ladmo bag, and I was like, oh, my God, this is amazing. And it was for, on air, and then when we went to a commercial, he took it back.
What? No kidding.
Yeah. And so I didn't want to say I was
Give me that
heartbroken,
bag.
but I was heartbroken. So then the next time I came in, he actually gave me a Ladmo bag, and it was mine to keep.
Oh.
And
And your
so,
kid came running and goes, what's in it, Dad?
I
Is there a dildo in there? The old man give you his dildo? Boy butter?
Your kid's going to love it.
Sorry. I get off on the Pat McMahon stuff. Who doesn't?
Who? And why
It was an odd sentence. Flip Orley's at the Tempe Improv. Always good. Tonight only. Then you're coming back in September for a Thursday and then Saturday night.
and Sunday. Thursday.
And Sunday.
think
You're right.
that's Labor Day
Why not
weekend.
Friday? What happened to Friday?
So because I took these 5 Thursdays,
Yeah, somebody's already in it.
They had booked someone for the Friday, so when they offered it to me, and again, I had a few people say, "Are you concerned with it being Labor Day weekend? People
Right.
leave town for Labor Day weekend." I'm like, "Well, the Valley's got 4 million people.
There'll be a few left.
4 million can't be leaving."
And plus, Sunday night will be a great show because people got nothing to do Monday. So this is all good. Tonight,
So, people, here's the challenge. I'm putting down the gauntlet for the challenge. If you're still in the Valley,
right.
Labor Day weekend, you got something to do with a mask, without a mask, with a vaccine, without a vaccine. I'm not requiring vaccine ports. I don't, I'm not.
You won't, but the club might.
If the club does, that's between them and their lord. But I'm
Joel?
not.
I don't think that counts. He's Jewish. I don't think that can happen. Yeah. So, yeah, if they do that, then Flip will throw a fit, and it'll be awesome to watch. Here's the challenge I give you with Flip Orley, because this is a fact. Go to his show twice in one weekend.
Oh, I love that challenge.
And the reason why is because you're going to be blown away at watching this guy ringmaster the Nightmare 2 nights in a row. Because it's something you've never seen before. It's not your regular stand-up, which I love stand-up comedy. But when you do it, it's a challenge every night for you. And the way you manipulate and navigate that stuff is
if you haven't gone yet.
Yeah.
And the fun thing is, if you've gone and you take someone that's never seen it.
Yeah, it's great.
It's awesome.
And then go in next night and go watch this. You can go to 2 shows in a row and be like, I just watched 4 hours of 2 different movies, the same dude. It's like Jeff Goldblum, which is in your picture, evidently. I don't know why he's your promo picture, but there he is. But there it is. Flip Orley at the Tempe Improv. Leave us with words of wisdom, Flip.
I don't think you should do dating websites.
Now you have to explain that. Well, we're going to take a break. Flip will explain that in a second. Now I have to know why. You giving dating advice is
that's kind of rich,
not a
isn't
good
it?
idea. Yeah. Anyway, you're staying. Flip, can you stay?
I can stay into the next 4 hours.
Well, that's unreasonable.
I don't know.
That's pushing it.
Well, I was going to say 10 more minutes. But all right, we'll see. Well, somewhere in between those two parameters there we set up. And it's 98 KUPD.
Our country is facing a major crisis.
98
We need to find out what's causing it.
KUPD.
You can't say your pubic bone's sticking out at work to anyone. Anyway, this conversation
That
went
doesn't work?
sideways.
That doesn't work?
Did you say that to someone? Your pubic bone sticking out?
I've thought it.
That's pretty good stuff. Flip Orley's at the Tempe Improv. What was the thing we were talking about right before?
Dating.
Your words of wisdom. Now I need to know, why don't you like dating websites?
So, well, first of all, 2 nights ago, two nights
Oh, this is within 48 hours.
No.
you're giving us
Well,
advice.
2 nights ago, I woke up in a cold sweat because, and I'm a vivid dreamer, but 2 nights ago, I dreamt that my ex-mother-in-law was hitting on me.
Which one?
Number 4.
Number 4. Step on down.
And it was really like I woke up sweating, but not in a good way, like a cold
Right.
sweat. And so I thought, God, maybe I'm lonely. Maybe that, like, I'm looking for companionship. Maybe that's my mind's way of, like when you're dreaming and you dream like you go to the restroom. You're like, oh, I think my mind's sending me a message. I should get up before.
It was so real.
Sure. So this was a revelation.
Yeah.
That if you're dreaming about your ex-mother-in-law.
So maybe I want companionship. And then I thought, well, how's that going to work? And then I thought about dating websites, and I thought about my last experience, which was horrible. Did I ever tell you about that? Or
The one where you had to fly back and forth?
No. Oh,
That one terrible.
yeah, that was terrible.
That was the one where that was just a girl you were talking with online.
Yeah.
And you ended up meeting in Florida or something?
No, that's
a different one?
No, that was that one.
Escapades are brutal.
Wow.
But, yeah.
So I ended up meeting this girl, and we were communicating back and forth online. And then I was going to fly to meet her. I live in Lafayette, Louisiana, and for whatever reason, there was a period of time where airline tickets were half the cost out of Baton Rouge. So I said, I'll drive the hour and I'll fly because it's half price. And so on the way there, I had horrific abdominal pain, like horrible abdominal pain, and which I'd been having on and off for years, and I just ignored because I thought, my body's stupid.
That's exactly what a doctor would have said. It was very medically sound.
So I'm talking to a buddy of mine, and he goes, "Don't get on a plane," because I had flop sweat. It was horrible. I was bent over, as I'm driving to Baton Rouge. He goes, "It's appendix, and you're gonna die at 20,000 feet." I'm like, "You're being melodramatic." So I get on the flight, and they shut the door, and the pain ramped up. I had never experienced before, and so I stood up. And the flight attendant goes, "Sir, you need to sit down." I go, "You need to let me off the plane." She goes, "We've shut the door." I go, "You've got 2 options. Like, you can let me off the plane right here, or we can land at the first airport to let me off in an emergency situation."
Yeah. Was that bad?
Yeah, it was that bad. So they let me off the plane, and here's how stupid I am. I saw the gate agent as I walked down the jet bridge, and she goes, "What's up?" And I go, "I'm having this horrible medical issue, but I should be fine tomorrow. Can I rebook?"
You're trying to get yeah. You don't want to lose your deal. It's probably one of those non-refundable tickets.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to move that.
So then I call my buddy up. I'm like, "You're right." I got off the plane. He goes, "Well, just go to the hospital in Baton Rouge." I go, "No, I'm going to go home." So I'm driving back to Louisiana, back to Lafayette, and there's a 19-mile bridge between Baton Rouge and Lafayette. And so I'm talking to him, and all of a sudden I started getting like where like my vision was starting to like.
Oh, yeah, the twisties.
Yeah,
like Simone Biles.
It was horrible. Yeah, or worse because
you actually finished drive.
So I said to my buddy, I go, "We need to hang up." He goes, "Why?" I go, "I really don't want your last memory to be of me hitting the guardrail."
Wow.
Yeah. And then he said, "Oh, does your vagina hurt?"
Guys are such good friends. We're all so caring.
It was really enough that kind of sustained me. So I went to the hospital in Lafayette, and I was holding my side, but they took me right away because they go, it's close enough to your heart. It could be a heart issue. I'm like, dude, I know, it's not my heart. But they pushed me to the front of the line, and they did some x-rays and whatnot. And then the nurse came and she goes, sir, are you constipated? And I go, no. And she goes, well, I've seen the x-rays. You are.
You're packed up.
Evidently. And so, but then the doctor came in and he goes, your gallbladder has become gangrene.
Ooh.
And he goes, had you not been here, you'd have been dead in the next 24 hours.
No kidding.
Yeah, so my buddy was right. He just picked the wrong organ.
Yeah.
Close.
So I was in the hospital for days, and they put me on an antibiotic drip just to get the infection under control before they could take what was left of the gallbladder out. And they were giving me Dilaudid, which was delightful.
That is good stuff.
But nobody told me that you should have a good friend take away all your technology.
Oh, boy.
So I was taking pictures of myself in the gown. The gown had come off, and I couldn't figure out how to put it back on. So I just tied it around my neck, and it looked like a sundress. So I was taking pictures of myself, and I said, aren't I putting the sundress and putting it on like Facebook?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, which was
fun stuff.
So then this girl calls me from Florida, and she accused me of lying and that like leading her on. I'm like, I'm in the hospital. She's like, oh, okay, sure.
Right.
Check my Facebook page.
But here's my I can combat this. You're flying to see her, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have this problem, this medical issue on the plane.
Yeah.
You get off the plane, and you call your friend. You never once contacted her to say, I'm not coming.
No, I did. I did once I got to the hospital and got checked
okay.
in.
All right. That's always been missing from the story.
That was the least important part of it.
It's like, I'm not calling her. I've always wondered how come
Where did she fall in the
she
mix?
was the bitch, no question, for doing that, but you never ever mentioned that you called her to say, hey, I'm not going to make it. I'm having
eventually,
Yeah, you got around
Got
to
to
it,
it, yeah.
sure, but right away, like the person you're going to visit, probably let them know.
I
I'm
just
not
got
gonna be.
off the plane.
Yeah, you're not.
You
Yeah,
didn't need to know.
Yeah, she wasn't that important. She's not tattoo
It happened
worthy.
so fast.
And this is your advice. That's you in the gown. What are you doing? Oh my God. Yeah, but that's why you think people. That story right there was Flip's way of saying, don't use dating websites. Somehow or another, that's your dating website.
Well, he had a recent one. It
Well, no.
sounds like.
So I one night I was home. This is after one of the marriages ended, and like every commercial on TV was like eHarmony and Match.com and Christian Mingle and Farmers Only,
Right.
And I mean J dating and
Right.
so it's almost like when you're in high school and you break up with a girl and then every song on the radio is a breakup song. Whatever.
Sure.
So eHarmony was like, take our quiz, find your match for free. And I'm like, whatever, I'm in. So it was like midnight. And it was like a 75-question quiz. And I answered every question, like, honestly.
Right.
And it took me like 2.5 hours. And then it said, what's your zip code? And I gave it and go, what radius would you travel to date? And I thought, well, I'm traveling a bunch. Let's say the whole country. Like, let's
All
cast
of
a
it.
wide net.
Everybody is targeted.
There's like in 300 million people, or half which are women, and then maybe less because 18 and over.
Right.
So,
Wow. Cast a wide net was enough.
I would cast a wide net. So then there was that wheel of death as it's thinking.
Yeah.
Right. And then like 2-3 minutes later, it came back. I kid you not, eHarmony. We feel like no one in the country is appropriate for you.
What answer do you think you needed to change?
Probably at that point, the 4 or 5 divorces.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah. Well, they
that-
said, have you been divorced? And I go, yeah. And how many times? Like, a bunch.
a load,
So
a
then
handful.
Then I went to Match.com, and I did the same thing. They have much fewer questions, easier thing to do. And then there's 2 ways when you do online dating. There's 2 things you can do, which is here's the kind of gal I'm looking for.
Right.
Or you go, here's who I am, who's looking for me.
Right. Oh, okay.
And so I did with Match. I go, I'm throwing it out there. Here's who I am, who's
Right.
looking for me. They sent me 5 pictures, all transvestites.
No kidding.
And I don't even mean pretty ones. I mean like dudes that played like on the line in high school of football that put on a ill-fitting dress and a bad wig.
That's science. That's Match.com. That's the one that uses science.
So I sent, I screenshotted all of them. I sent them to my buddy. The same one's like, does your vagina hurt?
Right.
And so I sent him those pictures. I said, this is who Match wants to pair me up with. And my phone rang immediately. And I go, hello. And he goes, dude. Oh, dude. They're dudes.
I would rather that you did all of your friend stuff to Pat McMahon. Yeah, you send him all that stuff, and that would be great.
Does your vagina hurt, Flip? Go to the hospital, you woke pussy.
I would love it if Flip was your go-to guy for these things.
Pat.
Dude, those are dudes, dude.
The Pat McMahon voice of reason is my thing. Well, I guess that's good advice, that for you not to use dating apps.
I am taking my advice.
Where do you think meeting women is a good idea?
For me?
Yeah.
At the workplace.
Well, so far, Ofer, but let's say at the workplace. Andrew Cuomo's in-house dating.
At this point, I'm probably thinking like the Bunny Ranch.
You think just prostitutes?
I don't know.
Are you going to just lean on that from here on out?
No.
Will you get married again?
No, that I can say no.
You said that at 4.
Yeah, you know what? So I'm not believable. I am not a credible witness.
You said that at 4 in front of 5 while she sat in this room.
Yes.
Never again.
Yeah.
That's it. And then 5 became 5.
Because she was amazing.
She was amazing.
For the first year.
Yeah, and then bananas.
And then less so as time went by.
You steady as a rock. She all over the road.
I have found that as it seems, except for my male friends, with women anyway, I've got about a 1-year shelf life.
That's it. Before you tire of them?
No, other way around.
Oh, okay.
They're like, I thought your behavior was cute, but
it wears thin. Yeah, I fear that's me.
And I keep telling people, it's like, here's the deal. Like, the maturity ship has sailed without me on purpose. I didn't get on purpose. Like, there's all kinds. Like, if you're looking for growth, I don't have the capability of growth. Like, what you see is
this
what
is going to be this way all the time.
So, and they're like, oh, and then like a few months later, like, dude, like you are not maturing.
But don't you see that that's a challenge to them? If you're the one that, like, you're the Warren Beatty, you're the one that will change for them and become this responsible guy who just sits in. Yeah, and you're the one that stops being Flip, the one that they loved.
I'm not that. Why would you want to be with me if you want to change me?
That's the challenge. They don't really like us.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have described that as I don't know about you, but
that's
me,
a fact.
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. Yeah, they don't like us. They want us to be, they like who they met, and then they want something.
And then they want something different.
Yeah, and that's fine.
So, ladies, if you would like to help me with an acid removal.
Yeah, there's plenty of them. Plenty of ladies in your boat. Would you ever date a woman who's been divorced 5 times?
I dated a woman who was divorced 4 times.
No kidding?
Yeah.
And?
It didn't work out.
Yeah. That's 9 between you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Why didn't that work? Just you both got tired of each other probably at the same time.
We just decided, I think, that that we were better off being friendly.
Yeah. Well, that's great. She was divorced 4 times.
Yeah, we have a lot in common.
Yeah, you do. You should hook up. Now, Match.com should have sent you that.
That would have.
Did she have a penis? Because that would have been perfect according to the website.
If she did,
it felt great.
She had it removed before I met her.
Okay.
Or it's tucked in a way that I've never seen before.
How do you feel about that pregnant man and the people family issue we talked about this morning?
You know, I here's the deal. Anybody can do anything they want, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm all about, identify how you want.
Right.
I just don't want to have to play along.
Exactly. That's the key to it. I can watch. I'm not going to hurt you and I'm not going to yell at you, but I just don't have to like it.
I don't care.
Right.
Doesn't mean you hate them. If you
I don't hate them.
play along,
even if I do, so what?
Well, I know, but
yeah.
The minute you say I don't want to play along, it's because you hate them.
Maybe.
No, if I hate someone, it's because
but there's a problem.
It's their personality.
Exactly.
It's not how they identify.
Yeah.
I don't care how you identify. Like I don't. If there's someone who says I'm going to attack helicopter, right? It's like, well, I'm not going to call you one. I mean, you feel free to feel.
I'm going to
feel free to.
a helicopter?
No, that's their identity. Like I identify.
I see.
Like more power to you.
Yeah.
If that's what makes you happy. Like I'm not. I don't see it. I'm not playing along. But good for you.
That used to be called crazy. See, I keep my eye on that. If somebody thinks they're a helicopter, I immediately don't like them because they're going to get me in trouble.
Well, I don't necessarily dislike them. I will keep an eye on them.
I do.
I
don't like anyone that identifies as a helicopter. I will say that right away. I'm pretty sure we're not going to be friends.
This is my girlfriend. It's a Camaro.
Yeah, she likes to be called Z28.
I'm a warthog. Really? You're an A10? Good for you.
Okay, good for you. Yeah, we're not going to be friends because you're insane, and I try to keep away from that as I can.
But be that as it may,
yeah.
And I mean, I don't understand all these new identifications. You know, but I'm old and whatever. But I'm I mean that stupid phrase, you be you. Like, but be happy.
Yeah.
Be happy doing it.
But they got to stop blaming everybody for age. It's not a bad thing to get older and not grasp all this stuff. Like they try to make it seem like it's a bad thing that you have to get older and like, wait a minute, this is new.
Yeah. No,
what?
I don't have a. I just want to be left alone.
Pregnant men are never going to be normal to me.
Well, so you're an Arnold Schwarzenegger hater.
That's exactly right. That's Julius. Was it Julius? No, that was twins. What was his name in that one? Yeah, I forgot. But you're right. Yeah, pregnant man is always going to turn my head. I'm breastfeeding, pregnant men, and women with beards are always going to be something I turn and go, whoa.
Who knew that Arnold Schwarzenegger was so forward thinking?
He was way ahead of his time.
I'm pregnant. Look at me over here with a baby in my belly. My uterus is out through the semen into the whole thing with the eggs, and I have all that.
Look at it, dickwad.
Look at this dickwad. Look at it go. I'm going to give birth through my penile canal, peel it back like a banana. So anyway, yeah, it's always going to, that's the thing.
Wow, that was a tangent.
I love that. I know, I went off a little bit. I love that you said that. It's like, look, you do whatever you want. It doesn't mean I have to be like totally kosher with everything.
And that's the thing that bothers. Like that's like someone going, "I don't believe in hypnosis." Okay, well that's because you're a hypnosist.
Right. Yeah. You don't have to like Flip Show.
You don't have to like me. You don't have to like my show. Yep. You don't have to believe what I do is real. I don't care.
I've said it for years, even though our ratings are really good here. If we're like 15 shares, which is really big, that means 85% of the city doesn't like us.
Which is fine.
Totally cool with it. I'm not mad at them. They probably are right half the time.
I know 5 women who are willing to marry me, and all 5 don't like me.
That's right. Things change.
Things change.
That's exactly it. We're going to do the entertainment drill. Flip's sticking around for that, too, because he can stay for 4 hours and hang out with Larry all day. Who knows? It's 98 KUPD.
Our country is facing a major crisis. We need to find out what's causing it.
KUPD.
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Eric'sFamilyBBQ.com.